I am very excited today because I am starting an intro to a new project which hasn't happened in a hot second, and it is a Fantastic Ladies project, anyone surprised, and that is the Pan of Dinosaurs project pan created by Taru, otherwise known as Cruelty Free Panner on YouTube. I definitely recommend you check out her channel. I really enjoy watching her, especially first thing in the morning. Usually that's when she posts for my time anyways, but it's also just, I find her really relaxing and calming, so it's like a nice thing to wake up to. It's not too like jarring. Her voice is very soothing, and I really enjoy watching her videos, and so I think if you watch me, you'd probably enjoy her as well. And she created this really fun concept, which is essentially using more or less the older products into her collections, or the dinosaurs, and then she made all these prompts connected to different dinosaurs, and we get to choose, I think it's 4 to 10, and connect an item to that specific type of dinosaur prompt. Even though I was just playing with the Franken eyeshadows I've been panning, I try to make a dinosaur vibe. I feel like this gives me dinosaur vibes. I don't know, the cool tone with like a green. I think of green and bluey grays when I think of dinosaurs. Also, this is the most dinosaur themed shirt I could find. It's Toy Story, but hey, Rex is a dinosaur. Also forgot to mention, this project starts on August 8th and ends on April 8th, but all the information that I can give will be down below. If you want to join, I'm pretty sure that means you have to join the Fantastic Ladies Facebook group, but I could be wrong. Maybe you can join on your own. I don't know, I didn't create this. But with that said, let's get into the 6 dinosaurs that I chose for the prompts. And the first one is a Stegosaurus, which is something slow going. So I chose a blush, obviously. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Blush, one of the oldest products in my collection, as these are supposed to be your older products. Some of these aren't as old as others, but this is definitely old. And my goal is to hit pan within these next 8 months. And I've actually hit pan in the past. It was pretty significant pan. It was like, I don't know, almost a dime sized. Maybe not quite, but it was pretty big. However, it started crumbling because I think there was the tiniest bit of like an air bubble in the bottom, so I ended up repressing it, and I've used it a few times since then, but honestly not a ton because I've been focusing on painting a lot of other blushes since I've repressed it, which was well over a year ago. I'm pretty sure it's the first repressing video that I did. I think it's on my like repressing playlist, if you want to watch that, if you want to see how big the pan was. But I want to re-hit pan. As you can see, it's kind of an interesting, when I repressed it like dips around the edges and then it goes up a bit, but it's flat. I don't know. Long story short, I'd like to re-hit pan. I'm not in a rush to finish it up, but I would like to make sure I get good use out of it, because I don't know what happens when it expires. Like, will it lose all of its color or suddenly be crap? I don't want that to happen because I really, really enjoy this blush. I'm actually wearing it today. I don't need that much, but it looks kind of gray in the pan, and it is this really stunning like plummy shade, but it has this warmth to it that makes it almost like this perfect neutral blush that could work with basically anything. It has a warmth that isn't overpowering. So it's just a really nice neutral kind of brown undertone, and I really want to find a dupe for it. And I thought I did with the Ofra one, but then Ofra started being sketched, and now I'm like, I don't think I want to put my money towards them, so I'm sure I can find a dupe for it eventually, hopefully. If you know of a blush that is rosy, plummy, with a brown, warmish undertone to it that doesn't make it so gray like it is in the pan, preferably a matte or a satin, let me know. Sorry for that tangent, but the next dinosaur I chose is the Pterosaurus. Also, just keep in mind, I don't know if I'm saying any of these right, I'm just guessing. But the Pterosaurus is something that is light or airy, and so I chose a shade from the e.l.f. New Classics palette. This guy hasn't been in a project pan in a hot second. I chose the shade Beloved, but I want to use it as a blush topper, so I ended up repressing it into a different pan to make it easier to use. It barely fills the pan, as you can see. I didn't exactly repress it in the most perfect way, but it is kind of a duochrome, The reason I want to use it as a blush or like a blush topper is because I learned through my chopping block series, where I was getting use out of each of the shades, that this is not the most metallic. It's very lackluster. The other shimmers are subtle, but this one's even less shiny, and I really wasn't in love with that, but it is a really pretty peach to pink duochrome, and I also feel like something about the duochromatic nature of it makes it more light and airy in my mind, so that's why I thought it was fitting to the prompt. It's also just a light color, but I would like to finish this up completely. Moving on to the Diplodocus? That's my guess. For that one, it is something long, and I chose 2 eyeshadows from the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette. This is their reformulated, repackaged version with 2 matte shades, and those 2 matte shades are actually what I chose because, as you can see, they are quite long in the pan, and my goal is to hit pan on both of these. I forgot to mention, this e.l.f. palette is the 3rd oldest in my palette collection, which most of them are new, so in my mind it's old, even though it's probably like a year and a half old. But compared to the rest of the things in my collection, this is about it's over 2 years old. So that also makes it fitting for the dinosaur theme. But yeah, I'd really like to hit in on these really gorgeous mattes. I really like the Wet n Wild matte formula, even if I don't buy from them anymore. The mattes are super smooth, easy to blend, have decent pigmentation. They're not the most pigmented, but they're still like nice. Excited to get some more use out of this really old palette in my collection. I'd like to eventually use it completely. That is the goal. So gotta start somewhere. And speaking of this palette, for the Parasaurolophus. Nope, the Parasaurolophus. Oliphus. Oh, that's Oliphus.
A few minutes later.
Parasaurolophus. I give up. So, for the Parasaurolophus, I know I butchered that. I chose 2 more shades from this Wet n Wild palette, and I want to finish this champagne shimmer. It is a really nice subtle shimmer, which I think will look really pretty in the inner corner or for a really subtle look on the lid. And I'd like to hit pan on this deep blackened brown. It is really a reddish brown shimmer within a kind of brown black base. It's a bit deeper on the eyes than it shows up in the pan because the shimmer makes it look lighter, but I'll probably end up just using it as like a liner to define my lash line, and maybe a bit also to deepen looks that are more dramatic. But yeah, so in total I have 2 dinosaurs for this old palette. I want to hit pan on the 2 mattes, this deep brown, and I want to finish the champagne. So a lot of focus will be on this palette in the next 8 months. Oh my gosh, I was so busy trying to say the name of the dinosaur, I forgot to say what the prompt was for the dinosaur, and that is something with weird shaped packaging. So I chose this because it has all the slanty, irregular pans, and I don't know, I find it kind of weird. It's weird when you want to depot it, I guess, even though those aren't magnetic, but I've seen people depot them and it looks weird, and I know they're trying to be different and like unique and identifiable, and I'll give it to them. Like, I see this and I immediately know it's Wet n Wild, but it's a little weird, you know? The next dinosaur I chose was the Microraptor, which is something with very little product in it, and if you have been watching my videos, then you probably recognize this Pacifica Color Quench lip tint in the shade Sugared Fig. I recently had it in my Avatar the Less Pan Bender project pan, and as you can see, there's not a ton left anymore. My goal is to use half of it in that project, and I used more than that, but I also have used it since then just because I know that I want to get it done by the end of the year, and it's also just a color that's really easy to slap on. Not only do I want to finish up what is sticking out, but I also want to dig out the base because it is a lip balm product, and I like to do that for lip balm products for some reason. I don't do it with all my makeup, but I would like to dig out the base, so it's not as little as it looks, but it's still not a ton of product in here, and I'd really like to get this done just because I'm trying to work through my lip products that are, this is not old. I only have one truly old lip product, and I don't feel like painting it because I just stopped painting it. All my lip products date back to, I think they're a year old or they're newer, and this one I got last summer. So it's old for my lip collection, though it's not old, but I guess it's kind of a stretch in terms of dinosaur type of products. But a lot of my collection is new, so I don't know what else to do. The last dinosaur I chose is the Spinosaurus, and that is something liquid, and so I chose the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Fair Beige. I'm wearing it today along with my e.l.f. foundation. I had to mix them together. My e.l.f. foundation is a bit too light for me right now, but this is way too dark. This is too peachy as well. Even when I mix it with the foundation, I still look a bit too peachy, but I just put my bronzer down my neck because that's also a bit too peachy. Basically, I don't have anything yellow enough for me. I would like to completely finish this up, hopefully before the end of the year, just because again, I want to like lower my numbers for my next inventory. I believe I've used probably a third of this product so far. In terms of base products, this is probably one of the oldest I have, except for that one powder that's ranked into a bronzer. Again, base products especially, I don't have many old ones because I like to use them up quickly, especially if they're liquid cream products. So those are the 6 or 8 products for this project pan. Definitely check out Taude's video. I will link her down below, and I will link down her video once she posts it. I'm filming this before she's posted it, so if you want more insight into why she made this and her inspiration and stuff, I definitely would recommend watching that. But I don't know her thought process, so thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you have an amazing day.